Okay, I'm gonna make a how-to video on how to change this condenser over here. So this one is damaged and it's I don't think you can see from here because of low light, but it's leaking green color goop all outside here. So this thing is definitely spoiled. What does it do? It's been said that this protects against interference to the electronics and the radio inside the car, but it also reduces sparking, arcing on the carbon brush over here, inside here. So I'm going to replace this, and it's quite difficult to remove this nut over here. I tried to remove it, but it seems to be seized and I cannot put a socket there. So finally figured out a way to remove that, and thanks to the half cut I got from a front cut spare alternator. So I did a mock-up where I couldn't, you can see this is the positive terminal that you see on the real alternator, and this is where it's mounted on. The condenser is mounted on here, right? So I'm going to take a 8mm socket, because a normal spanner cannot remove this seized nut. And as you can see, I'm trying to put this in here, but it won't go in because it's touching with this cage over here. So I figured out what happened if I remove this cage. Alright, so there's 3 screws here, 3 bolt nuts, 1, 2, 3, and this nut over here, and you can remove this cage. And once I remove the cage, I found out that this can go in. So I'm going to do the same thing on the real one, and then yeah, I can replace the condenser. Right, so whenever you're working on the alternator, you must always disconnect the battery negative, because there's a 12-volt power going here. This is coming from the battery positive, and it's going all the way here to ground here, positive, negative. So it's better that I remove this, disconnect this, and then only work on this. Alright, so now I'm going to disconnect this first. Okay, what is supposed to be a simple job turned out to be a major pain in the ass. I couldn't access the 3 nuts at the back, so I figured that I need to remove the whole alternator. So here I am with the alternator removed, and I cover this intercooler pipe just for protection to prevent dirt dropping in. Okay, so now the alternator, which is still hot because I've been driving about 1 hour ago, still hot. So now I can proceed to remove this cage over here and remove this condenser. I'll change everything here, then I put back one shot. Okay, once the alternator is out of the car, I easily got this cage out from the alternator. So now I can access this with a socket and remove this condenser. Okay, after a lot of trouble, I finally managed to get it out. The goop has melted and formed a bond over the nut, and causing the nut to jam. And when I tried to remove it, it rounded off the hex. Luckily, I hammered this in and it completely went in nice, and managed to grip the nut. So I'm going to throw this nut and replace with a new one. Okay, now I can replace the new condenser over here. Okay, the condenser is in with a brand new nut, and tighten everything back together, the positive connection and the cage at the back. So now I'm going to put back the alternator and reset the belt. Okay, I've put back everything. All the wiring I'll put back, and the intercooler hose is tightened properly, and I added some layers of protection to make the hose last longer. And now I'm going to put back the negative terminal and tighten it, and the work is considered done.